So hello friends, in this video we are going to solve third problem from the April lunchtime, which is positive max. So first of all, as usual, I will explain the problem statement, what the problem says, and after that we will move on to the approach and then the solution. So first of all, I will explain what the problem says. First of all, you will be having t as usual. Okay, after that you will be having n, which is the number of elements, and then here it is 2, and then you will be having number of elements. Suppose for example n is 3, and then we will be having number of these elements which are 1, 1 and 2. Okay, so what actually we need to find out is that, so first of all I will briefly explain what is MEX. MEX is for a function. Suppose let's take I can see so let's take any number. Suppose n equal to 5. Let's take 1, 2, 3, 6, 8. Okay, I take any random 5 values. So what is the MEX for this? Okay, so MEX states that the minimum number which is not in this, and it should be greater than 1. Okay, so as you can clearly see that the minimum number which is not in this is 4. Okay, so MEX of this is 4. So what this question says is that you are having a sequence 1, 2, 3, as I stated, like you will be having n elements. So what you have to do is that for all subsequences of this sequence, you have to find out the MEX value, and for that MEX you have to add it and output it. So first of all, how will you find out the number of subsequences it is having? So basically, number of subsequences of any sequence is 2 raised to the power n. Now how it is? So I will briefly explain how it is possible, because see, for a subsequence what you can have is that, suppose for this you have two options to choose an element. One, you have two options, you will have it or you will not have it. For 2 you have two options, you will have it or you will not have it. For 3 you have two options, you will have it or you will not have it. So 2 into 2 into 2, which is 2 raised to the power number of elements, which is 2 raised to the power n. So the subsequence number of subsequences for this sequence is 8. Okay, so now I have briefly written what are these 8 subsequences which are possible. So as you can see, first of all we will be having an empty subsequence. So the MEX for this empty subsequence will be 1. If the element is 1, then its MEX will be 2, because 1 is already there. We want something bigger, and it should be just minimum bigger. So we write 2. So here we write 1, as you can see, because the minimum element which can be 1 or greater than 1 and should be minimum, it's 1. Same for 3, it is 1. For 1, 2, because 1 and 2 are already present, so minimum value which we can have is 3. 2 and 3, as 1 is not present, so we will mark it as 1. For 1, 3, as 2 is not present, because 2 actually is the minimum number which is not available in this sequence, so it is 2. And for this, the minimum number which is not available in this sequence, it is 4. So we will add all these values, and thus we get the answer 15. Okay, so it is what I explained you in this problem. Now you will say yeah, it is cool, but Arif, I think what I will do is that I will find out every subsequence and I will have its MEX value in O of n, then I will output my answer. Okay, but if you will do this, then it will take O of 2 raised to the power n into n time, but actually it will give TLE, so you don't want this. At max you can do it in O of n or O of n log n. Oh yeah, it is true. So yeah, how to approach it, man? So let's start it from scratch and see how we will approach it. Okay, so I have made here, see, as you can see, let's take a sequence a random sequence of 4 elements. I opted for small so that we can clearly understand for every case. Understanding? So let's take the sequence 1, 1, 2 and 5. Okay. So the first thing which will strike your mind is that what are the constraints of this problem? Okay. So if I look at the constraints, you will clearly see that n is less than equal to n raised to power 5 while ai is less than equal to n raised to power 9. So, but if you slightly bit think that, see, we are having n elements. Okay. Okay. Let's suppose every element is, suppose n equal to, let's suppose n equal to 5. Yeah, n equal to 8, I guess. So if every element, for case, if every element is not same, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So at max MEX value it can be 9. Understanding? Now if you say, Aryan, what if the elements are same? Okay, if the elements are same, you are saying, then if suppose any, let's have any, suppose 4 is again repeating, so 4, then 6, 7, 8. So here MEX will be 5. So understanding the one thing, that although AI is stated that it should be less than equal to 10 raised to power 9, but actually it will never be used, because at max MEX will go up to 10 raised to power 5 plus 1. Why 1? Because actually if every element is not same and we have n elements, so at last it will go up to that value. So yeah, it is the first intuition which was like the first thing striking our mind when we see the when we see the limits of t and n ai. Okay, yeah, it is not much helping. First we move on to the intuition behind it. So let's think of first of all 1, when MEX will be 1. Okay, so MEX will be 1 only when we have no 1 in the subsequence. Understanding why? Because MEX will be 1 only when we are having no subsequence in it which is having 1 as its value, because we have to take smallest one. Understanding why? So the only remaining options we are having is that we will take 2 or 5. Okay, so as usual, as I earlier spoke about, that to have anything we have 2 options, either we will have it or we will not have it. We will have it, we will not have it. So the number of subsequences which will be having MEX equal to 1 means that I should not include 1. So what I will do, I will only include this. Now for this I have 2 options, either I will have it or I will not have it. Same for this, I will have it or I will not have it. So basically what I am doing is that I am doing 2 into 2. So 2 for 2 options, this or this, and what it will do is that it will become 2 raised to the power 2. So it is for yes or no, either I have it, either I not have it, and the 2 above here, it is for these 2 elements, which is 2 and 5. See the basic intuition you are having. Now you will say, Aryan, if I am saying that I will have it or I will not have it, so it will be one case. Either I have to, either I will have both, either I will have 2 and I will not have 5, either I will not have 5, either I will have 5, and either I will not have both of them. So the case when we both of them, still MX will be 1. When I have only 1, which is 2, still MX will be 1. When I have only 5, still MX will be 1. When I don't have anything, still MX will be 1. Why? Because for empty subsequence also we have seen that MEX will be 1. Yeah, it is true. So for the case when MEX equal to 1, we have seen that we will have the answer 2 raised to power 2. Now let's dry run on another example also. So when we move on to MX equal to 2, now is it possible to have MX equal to 2? Yeah, it is possible. But how? If for any subsequence mex equal to 2 is, it means that in that particular subsequence we must have at least 1, because if 1 is not there then mex will always be 1, but if 1 is there then mex might be 2. But why I said might be 2? I said might be 2 because it should have at least 1, but it should not have 2. Because if 2 is already available, then MEX will go beyond 2. If 1 and 2 are already available, then MEX will go beyond 2. So I want something which has MEX not equal to 2. So what I will do is that I will have something that it should have at least 1. Okay. But it should not have 2. Okay. And remaining anything it can have beyond 2. Like it can have any number of 3s, 4s, 5 or anything. I am not concerned about anything which is beyond 2. Okay. So what I will do is that if it has at least 1, okay. So the number of, see for this, if I see this, then for the 1 here, either I will have it, either I will not have it. For this, either I will have it, either I will not have it. But as you can see that the case when I don't have it, but I actually don't want it, I actually want at least 1, so I will do -1. So as you can see here, it is the case. See, I see that the base where here it is 2, it is to show that either I will have it or I will not have it. The -1 is because the case when we considered that I don't have both of them, because actually I want at least 1, and the 2 here indicates the number of ones. Understanding? And the next thing, I actually don't want any 2. Okay. So so actually I have only one case for it, that I will not have it in my answer. So I will multiply 1 for the case when I don't want to. Understanding? See, understanding why I left the blank space here. It is for the one when I wanted 1 only one time. Sorry, when I don't want 1, it is the one case only. When I don't want to, it is one case only. And remaining, as you can see, that I can have anything. So it is for the last, which is remaining 5. It states that 2, it indicates either I will have it or I will not have it, and 1 indicates the remaining one element, because as I earlier spoke to you that at last what we will be having is that we will have it or we will not have it. So beyond 2, I have no like anything I want to do it. I can have it, I will not have it. The only thing I have constraints on is before the MEX value. Understanding? Before the value, because I wanted MEX equal to 2. So I will have the constraints, or you can say the implications, only on the values before this value which I wanted. After that I can have any number of values or any number of things. So let's take our third. Next what we can have is MEX equal to 3. But for MEX equal to 3 you want 1, 2 and not 3. So yeah, I want 1, I want 2 and not 3. See, as you can see in this example, I have my element as 5. So you will say, Aryan, you are right. If here value is 5, it is clearly see that if I include this element, then MEX will be 3 at most, because the minimum element which is not available in this subsequence, it is 3. So yeah, so there is no reason to write 5 here. We can write, see, as I earlier spoke about in here in the below, let me show you here, the maximum value which we MEX value, it is that the smallest value which is not available in that subsequence. So let's suppose for the example this, and yeah, what actually I also want is that when I had my whole answer, I had to multiply with 2. because actually it is the number of times we are having the MEX value and for this particular element. So what we actually wanted is that I want to include this particular element, this number of occurrences. Okay, so I think it's very untidy now, so let's have a line to explain the last case, and the video length has gone 15 minutes and beyond. Okay, so yeah, as you can see here now, if I want MEX equal to 5, so what I actually wanted is that I don't want 1, I don't want 2, I don't want 3, I don't want 4, and I want, sorry, I should have 1, what I said, I should have 1, I should have 2, I should have 3, I should have 4, but I should not have 5. But actually in this case, I am having 1, I am having 2, but I am not having 3. So the MEX value of this will be multiplied by 3 and not 5. But if it had been 3, okay, let's suppose for now if it had been 3, now what we'll be having is that we should be having 1. So it is the case, see here I have it or I don't have it here to indicate the number of ones, because actually I earlier spoke that I will have it or I will not have it, and -1 for the case when I do that I don't have it, because actually I wanted to have it. Understanding? I have said many have it and not have it, so please understand it very clearly, because it is the how you understand things basically. So now for 2 case, I also have 2 options, either I will have it or I will not have it, and the number of occurrences of 2, it is actually 1. So I had 2 raised to power 1 and -1 because actually I wanted to have a 2 at least 1. So the -1 because actually in the case when I do 2 raised to power 1, I had 2 options, either I will have to or I will not have to, but actually I don't want this option, so I do -1 here. And at last what I will do for the 3, actually it was 5, but for 3 what I wanted is that I don't want to have it. Okay, so there is only one case. So if you see this very clearly, that for every MEX, let's have another marker, yeah, blue, let's say blue pen. So for, as you can see, for every MEX value we are only worried up till the particular MEX value. After that what we will do is that we will do 2 raised to power what, n minus number of elements we have counted earlier. So here in this case, n minus number of elements, which are the number of ones which we have already have it. So here it is n minus, n is basically 4 here, so 4 minus 2 for this, so what we get here 2. Same in this case, if you see beyond this, what we had 2 plus 1, so the remaining is 4 minus 3, so I get 1 here. Understanding? And if I have the case here, so beyond this, what you have 2 plus 1 plus 1, which is 4, so 4 minus 4, which is 0, so I had nothing here. So you can see that as I already spoke earlier, that beyond this I am not worried about anything. And how I am not worried, I am showing with the help of this. So in my in my code I have marked it as F answer. F answer means the answer beyond this, beyond the value. So it is the variable. I will make you understand the code later, but for now I am explaining that what is F answer in my code. It is beyond this what I needed. In my code, the value of I is this. At every step I will multiply, suppose at every step I will multiply 1 here, I will multiply 2 here, I will multiply 3 here, so I is my this, okay, in my code. And another thing which I need to explain is that for the value this I'm always having 1, understanding? For the particular MEX value I'm always having 1, understanding? But before this I'm actually multiplying for every earlier element. Now how you will see is that first of all I had nothing here, same, I had nothing here, then I had this value, so it is repeated same here. As you can see, now I multiplied again a value here. So as you can see, I don't want to do it again and again. I just wanted to multiply a next value in the earlier value, and I represented the value here, the value which is before my particular MEX element. I represented it with the H step. H means horizontal step. At every horizontal step I am having my answer, and at last I multiply F answer to my horizontal step, and at last in my whole answer I multiply my I, and then I added every this. So I guess I could have made you understand, and I think the page has gone pretty untidy, so I guess the effort I have put was sufficient. So let's move on to the code. And yeah, please be aware what is F answer, what is H step, what is I, what is my final answer, and I want to add my final answer. So if it is F answer, F means for a forward step, forward means last step. H step means for the horizontal step. At each horizontal step I am having a value, because I am recording the value actually, so that I don't have to redo it again and again. So let's move on to the code. First of all, to have the power, I had my function which is the standard function, and as you know that the answer, it can be pretty large, so this it's said to me to pre-compute and give it in M. So now I will move on to my you know what, I will move on to the code. First of all I had T, then I had my N, then I had my unordered map. Now you will ask, why are in unordered map? Because actually see, map and unordered map, the basic implementation difference is that unordered, see, the map uses a BST and the unordered map uses a hash table. So actually I just wanted the occurrences. I don't want any like the smaller element should be available before or the larger element, although it will not make much difference. You can use map also, but yeah, for to be on the safe side I use unordered map. Then I had my elements, array elements. Now I increased the occurrences. It is just to show the occurrences that a particular element occur how many number of times, because actually as you can see that I always needed that how many number of occurrences were of 1, how many number of occurrences were of 2, and so on and so forth. Then I had my answer initially. The answer initially is for, like, as I said that for 1, for the MEX equal to 1, it is the answer, because if I do anything or if I will not do anything, MEX equal to 1 will always be my one answer, because MEX equal to 1, it is like, it is as you say that for the empty set always you will be having an answer, and if not, then if the array has no one element, which means that if the array has no element which has 1 in it, so as you can see that n minus np of 2 raised to power 1, sorry, np of 1, which means the number of occurrences of 1. So if they are 0, then our answer will be 2 raised to the power n. So it is basically answer, and I will not move into my code basically. So yeah, let's move on further. And each step, as I already showed you that at each horizontal step I will have my answer. The sum, it is the sum of number of elements actually, I am having up till now, because at last, as you know, in the F answer I showed you that I need n minus number of sum. Okay, so if you are not understanding this, then I will recommend you to go and watch the explanation video, so which is just before this. So you can move back. Now here, as you can see, what I did is that if my element is not found at a particular instance, okay, if my earlier element, because see, as I showed you in my explanation, I opted for the element 1, 1, 2 and 5. So first of all, it will move on to 1 at the step here, okay, then it will move on to step 2, then it will move on to step 3, then when it move on to step 4, then it will see that the occurrence of step 3, which means when mx equal to 3, it was already 0, so it will break. So actually what happened is that it braked on 4, but actually it counted the occurrence for 3. So as I showed you that already I can have any n, but the minimum value which I wanted, which is not in my subsequence, it is with the help of this. So I guess you got understood it. Now my h step indicates that the horizontal step. Then okay, then I had my sum, because as I already spoke about that I need a sum for my F answer, because at each horizontal step you know that you need to have the sum. Then as I spoke that I will multiply my h step with my last answer, then my F answer I will multiply it by I, because as I already showed you in my explanation, I made you understand in that what is F answer, what is I, what is H step, and what is my answer. Then as you already know that for every subsequence you need to have its sum of every subsequence, so I added my plus to this subsequence and I outputted my answer at last. So I guess that you guys understood it, and thank you very much for watching it, and yeah, see you in the next.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's